drive this mothership.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids, and also Journey to Bliss. As you know, tonight we do have Brother Phil Valentine. He is coming in, but we're going to start with our prayers and our advertisements. And when he come in, then we'll start the show. So welcome, Jason and Agnes. Yes, thank you for coming.
Agnes Free Spirit.
Yes. Thank you for joining us, guys. Put where you're from, by the way. What state, what city, what country are you from? We'd like to know where you guys are looking at.
We want to find out where you are so we can come get the white coats. You hear them? They're coming after you. They want to know where you are because you got to be cray-cray to listen to us all day. Here they coming to get you in the white coat.
Which one do you want me to start the video? Brother Baraka at the beach?
You know what?
What?
Yeah, go ahead. I think that was very intuitive. Go ahead.
Brother Baraka at the beach. Here we go, family.
A call to action. The time is now. Summon the warrior energy in you, the healer in you, the divine masculine, the divine feminine energy in a call to action. The time is now. Summon the warrior energy in you, the healer in you, the divine masculine, the divine feminine energy in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burdens, distractions, and anything that's holding you back and take your rightful place. The battle is all around us, and it's right in your face. Let's go.
Did that play twice? Did you see that?
That was my Oops.
Oh, that was you. I was getting ready
Sorry.
to say, Mercury is not in retrograde. What is going on?
Yeah, this might be retrograde with all these spinning pyramids. So go ahead, Miss Bliss. Push Starseed I am.
All right, here we go, family. Let's see. We're going to Starseed. Wait a minute.
Right under Baraka. That's what I was doing. I was making it simple.
Okay, got you. Here you go, family. Starseed I am.
Success is your destiny. Love, wisdom, power. Remember, yes, always who you are. Yes, I am. Love, wisdom, yes, I am. Yes, I am. My brother's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. Yes, I am my brother's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. Yes, I am my brother's keeper. Yes, I am my brother's keeper. Yes, I am my brother's keeper. Of the universe. I am my brother's keeper. Is master. I am of the universe. Yes, I am my brother's keeper. Yes, I am love. Is master. Of the universe. Brother's keeper. Yes, I am master. Of the universe. Yes, I am love. My brother's keeper. Master. Yes, of the universe. My brother's keeper. Yes, I am 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 of my brother's keeper. Yes, I am my brother's keeper. Of the universe. Love. keeper. Yes, I am. My brother's 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 keeper. Yes, I am.
Health, love, wealth is your destiny.
Yes. I am my brother's keeper.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Ubuntu. And you can start the video clips. Those are the advertisements, family, in the spirit of Ubuntu. And as Bliss say, I am my brother's keeper. For all of you to know, this platform, this YouTube platform, is intentionally not monetized. So what we're doing, all of this is a ministry of investing into your higher awareness of your I am, of your nuke poo nuke. I even took a shower before I came on this show, just so that my sounds won't be funky. My sounds won't be funky. But we're just having fun on a Saturday night. So Bliss, she's co-piloting, and I want to sort of like ease my hands off so I could drink some of my pyramid water Kool-Aid. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 announcements, and they all lined up under video clips. And do your thing, sister.
All right. We're going to start with the Brother Shaka with the I am t-shirts. Here we go.
There we go. Funky.
Nice. Another one for the Brother Shaka. Peace, family. I wanted to show you some of these great quality t-shirts that were designed by the Brother Shaka. The I am t-shirts. I am a generator, an operator, and a destroyer. Great quality t-shirts, 100% cotton. If you like one of these t-shirts, reach out to the Brother Shaka at N as in Nancy, F as in Frank, N as in Nancy, Shaka at gmail.com. That's NFN Shaka at gmail.com. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day.
Have a beautiful day.
Make it funky. Da-da-da. Make it funky. Da-da-da-da.
The best soup in Brooklyn, in various sizes. Coconut Raw, 1396 Fulton Street, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. This is a nutritional feast of the highest benefits, deliciously, meticulously prepared with the best herbs, beans, spices, tasty to your tongue and nutritious for your cells. Come Tuesdays, 2 p.m., Thursdays, 12 p.m., Sundays, 12 p.m. Coconut Raw, the best soup in New York City.
That soup got me hungry.
I thought you already ate. I'm ready to go reach for my little stash of soup.
I still got my vegan chili on a slow cooker, so it should be ready in a little while. And I might just be like sneaking a little bite if I get hungry, but
Yeah.
I think I can hold it out. I'll be good.
It'll be ready at sun up, right?
So what we got? The next I Am God. You
Y'all
are the
God.
gods.
Yeah, now
This family, this is a really nice video that Miss Bliss put together. And I said, you know what? We got to remember repetitiously so we dissolve the drama and the trauma of the miseducation over all the years. We got approximately 45 folks. Folks, let us know where you're listening from, what part of the planet, whether you think the planet is a circle, triangle, or a square. Let us know where you are. And I'm starting to wonder if the world is like a big cookie.
Oh my God.
So,
Here we go. Here we
let's
go.
go.
Here we go. We all gods.
You know what I like about that, Bliss and family? I remember one time during an ayahuasca ceremony, it took me back in time, and that's what the gods look like. They were carbon, magnetic, of the blue black hue. And I was like, wow, I mean, all the ascended masters back then, they were in the deep blue black hue of spacesuit avatar bodies. So, like we have to think of our bodies as uniforms for various incarnations, uniforms for various services. So, sometime like military, you wear white. Sometime like military, you wear green. Sometime like military, you wear black. Sometimes like military, you wear red. So think of your avatar spacesuit body as a uniform, and you are the soulful animation within it.
all right, go ahead, Miss Bliss.
So the next one, we have the support of our young brothers and sisters in the music school.
Family, I am here with a magical moment of young musicians. And this is Kim, Sister Kim, and she has a message about investing into the future musicians of our community. Sister Kim, tell us what you got here.
Hi everyone, Kim, proud parent of children at the Big Apple Leadership Academy for the Arts. We teach HBCU high stepping marching band to our kids from age 5 and up. It is a free after school program, tuitionless, and it's open to all. Our kids are amazing. If you can, jump on our website. We're looking for support, donations. Our kids need new instruments so that they can high step on. Our website is www.balaa.org, BALAA.org. And I appreciate the time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And so, family, listen up close. We're talking about investing in the artists of tomorrow. By investing in them, if you have a little expendable change to invest in the youth, the genius, this is the opportunity. And in this description on this video will be the details of sending your donation to PayPal or Zelle or Cash App.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you for your support. Our children are the future.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And in family, we got one last advertisement, which is for someone in the UK. So shout out to our family that's over in the United Kingdom. If you're interested, this event is this month, and reach out to our sister Abby. code for when you work with Abby, the code is Magnet Bliss. So if you're going to attend that event and you're in the UK, use the code Magnet Bliss. Thank you, family.
Did y'all see those bubbles coming off them lips? Go ahead with your bad self, Miss Bliss. I couldn't have thought of thinking of that.
I didn't know if you would notice that.
I noticed that. I mean, the only thing, this is my reply, family. Watch. That's it. It's Saturday night here in Brooklyn. That's my reply. But I caught it and I was like, oh, okay. Got it.
Shout out to the family. So we got Jason here. Welcome for joining us, Jason. We got Agnes. Where you from, family? Where you from? Oh, we got somebody from Georgia. Is that Rossville, Georgia? Nice. Chi-Town. Okay. Atlanta, Georgia, ATL. Shout out. Oh, okay. There we go. Bermuda. Oh, my goodness. We got somebody all the way from Bermuda.
Oh, I got to get the bell. I got to rock the bell.
Shaka. Shaka, I know you in Dominican Republic, right? Shout out to my brother Shaka. He's in the chat, family. Who we got here? Thomason, Georgia. Yes, Dominican Republic. 219 is the Healers. Got Diamond from California. Welcome, Diamond. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Who do we have here? Tuning in from Port Oregon, about to take my microdose and watch Phil Valentine, and you microdosing at the same time. Go ahead, child. Go ahead. More power to you. I say do it. What's this question? Should we eat a vegan diet to improve spirituality?
Yeah, you know what? Only I want you to call for a consultation. The rates for the consultation is $100 for a half an hour, and you can contact either myself or Miss Bliss, and we'll give you a thorough consultation whether or not you should be sucking down frankfurters or having coconut rob soup.
Peace, PG. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We got Texas in the house. Texas in the house. Peace. Medusa, love your name. Thank you for joining us. Good evening, The Observer. Good evening. Laugh out loud. Slow down, Uncle Cookie Monster. Somebody's calling you Cookie Monster. Peace, family. Peace, family. Y'all remember that conversation, huh? All right. Who's this saying I can't get my head wrapped like that? How do you? We can do a head wrap class, y'all. Bring in some sisters, do a head wrap class. Shout out to the family from New Jersey. We got some family here in New Jersey, South Carolina. Nice. Welcome. Got Brooklyn in the house. Oh,
Bashara, you got to get in touch with Shaid. She wants to know if you're going to do festival. If you're not going to do it, just text it right in the chat, and I'll pass the word to her. Doc, because Shaid was just asking about you last week. Yep.
Got that message, family? Got that message, Dr. Bashara? All right, who else we got? Brooklyn, another one from Brooklyn. Natchez, MS, okay. Ohio, Iowa, Illinois. Hey, family. Alabama. Oh, how's it doing down there? Oh my goodness. Louisiana swamps. For real? Y'all know Louisiana swamps? Wow. Iowa, Philly, Philadelphia, Jamaica. They coming from all over the world for Brother Phil Valentine. Thank you, family, for your support. Bermuda, Duval, Las Vegas, sending us some hearts. Yes, family. Thank you. Baton Rouge. Wow. Dallas, St. Louis. Wow. From all over the world, all over the United States. Thank you, family. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. Thank you for rocking with us. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
And take hold of your crystals. We're going to do our invocation.
All right. Let me put my headphones on because I like to hear the resonance. Uh, Let me see. Oh, here it is, right here on the water jug. All right. Or if you don't have your crystals with you, or we got Toronto and Mississippi. Everybody, listen. There's enough Jedi's.
And we're going to make the difference on a Saturday night. All right. So get your cup of water, uh, or get your crystal, or get your medicine stick, so that we can create a holographic uh, reality of days, nights to come. I am in me. I am in Miss Bliss. I am in you, the listening audience, now and in the future. You, we congratulate you. Thank you for being born. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for surviving the airport adolescence of our youth. And may you each day remember more and more what the reason you was born, what your mission is in this lifetime. The two most important dates are the date of your birthday and the date that you realize what you're born to do. So, as we collectively hold our crystals, our herbal staves, our charged water, our medicine pieces, we bring our consciousness towards the halls of time and memories that we may have forgot. And the I am in me salutes all of the Jedi, healers, medicine men, medicine women, Reiki masters, pranic healing practitioners, uh, various healers of all modalities, musicians, artists, all of your creative expressions from the sea of love of the One Most High. Let's look back on the past wake of waves of our countless incarnations and say, yes, I am forgiving all souls from my past incarnations. Like a boat moving through a lake or ocean of countless ripples through time. And each ripple we incarnated to raise our frequency, to raise our vibrations through the pain it takes and the pressure and the stress to become the diamond star that each of us are. We now bring our attention, our awareness to say through the halls of time, forgiveness as I evolve. And I ask for all life, forgive me. And in this life and in the future, we're going to use God consciousness, activate all the junk DNA, and say, yes, I am forgiving all ignorant souls in now and in the future, because I am asking all musical, artistic creations from the sea of love to please forgive me. With that being said, we now gather our consciousness together as we create an Ubuntu circle around the globe. And we call in the name of love our ascended master ancestors, the latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko. We ask that you be on this platform. Ascended master, Check Amadou Bamba. Oh, they're coming. Here they come. They're coming. That's cavalry. That's the cavalry coming of the ascended masters. That's it. We ask Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibrafal, to be with us on this platform. Those of you who may not have been familiar with the names I'm calling, I'm going to show you the pictures of them as I call them. This is Sheikh Amadou Bamba, an ascended master from Senegal. And this is the latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko. You can look him up. These men were bulletproof, hungry lion proof, bonfire proof. Sheikh Amadou Bamba wrote 7 tons of prayers, some of them said to be so strong they buried him in the ocean. All right? Flew through the air. Simeon Toko, they killed him at least perhaps 20 times. He would reassemble in front of everybody just to prove love is supreme. We ask that y'all be on this show tonight. Gatekeeper of Northern California, Mount Shasta. We ask that St. Germain, entrance into the hollow earth through Mount Shasta, be with us on the platform. Pardon the echo sound, family. I forgot to mute the crystal rotating. And while we was doing the ascended master invocation, we started getting them high pitches. We ask the presence of Nikolai Tesla be with us on the platform. Sanat Kumara, Enoch the Ethiopian who rose into the heavens and became Metatron, be with us tonight. We ask in the name of love, angel of protection, Archangel Michael, to surround all our family, friends, and loved ones, especially our young sisters, the children, the men. Help them remember that they can call on the deflector shields of impenetrable protection, because each of us are divine. And like superstars that you are, you need bodyguards, but you need angelic guards. And that you can call and ask for protection from Archangel Michael. We call on Archangel of healing, Archangel Raphael, be with us on the platform. Archangel Gabriel, angel of strength. Angel of knowledge and enlightenment, Archangel Uriel, be with us on the platform. We call upon Yeshua, Black Madonna, Mother Mary. We call on Elijah, Melchizedek, Heteru, Asar, Aset, Tahuti, Quetzalcoatl, White Buffalo Calf Woman. Call upon Chief Geronimo, Chief Osceola, Chief Sitting Bull, Chief Crazy Horse, be with us. Chief Seattle, Mary McLeod Bethune, Harriet Tubman, join us. Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, join us. Shroom Master, Dr. George Washington Carver, a humble inventor who would microdose shrooms to hear the whispers and recipes from the gardens 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. Shroom Master, Dr. Sabi. Shroom Master, Dr. Kalindi Ayi. We welcome you to be on the platform tonight. And the forces of nature that live within us, Ilegba, Oshun, Yemaya, Ologun, Oya, Shango, Ogun, Obatala, Ochosi, Ubuntu. I am all that ever was. I am all that ever is. You are all I am. We are I am. We welcome and invite the Buddhas, the Krishnas from the earth's surface and the earth's hollow. Be with us. We call on divine intervention throughout the star systems, the Dogon Orion star system, Palladian star system of ascended masters to supersede the cross-eyed school bus world leaders, known and unknown, seen and unseen, human and non-human. We calling upon a divine intervention on this beautiful pearly turquoise planet of luminescence. We ask for divine intervention on the grassroots populations throughout the world, that they awaken and realize they are waves in the sea of love. And we say together, Ashe, Mahalo, Donada, Wado, Amen, Amen. All right, family. Where's our big brother Phil? Hold it down. Let me put on a video and we're going to bring him on. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Here we go. We're throwing this, Bliss.
Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. Success is your destiny. Love, wisdom, power. Remember always who you are. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Love, yes, power. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Master. Yes, I am. Yes, love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Say yes to yourself. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Master. I am. Yes.
Okay, hold on, family. We're just having a little technical challenge to bring Phil on. He's on standby. We want to make sure he's righteously, he can hear us, but we can't see him in the queue. So we're going to send this again to him. And Brother Phil, check your email. I just sent you the link again. Sometimes we have these problems, but no big deal. Let's make sure. Let me see if he's in. Hold on. He'll be here shortly. So he said, we want Phil. We want Phil. Okay. We'll get him here shortly. All right. Let me call him and make. There he is right there. We're starting to worry, brother.
I've been watching you all doing your thing.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. I'm going to fall back and get some tea. Brother Phil, what you have cooking in the alchemy pot? You got this awesome flyer. I'll put the flyer up. What in the world?
Look at this shirt. I love this shirt. Did you see the shirt?
No, I didn't see the shirt.
You see the shirt now?
See, you messing with me because I'm thinking if it's flat, I want it to be a cookie. I want a flat cookie tonight. It's Saturday night, Doc. I want a cookie.
Well, you have one right next to you there.
Oh, suck it now. All right. You got that right.
The Funkadelic says, sure, delicious to me.
Yeah, boy. So we warmed everybody up. We was having a good time. This is family. Look at the art he created here. Phil, what you got cooking, brother? What's this here?
Well, it looks like reality is being challenged, especially with the so-called people who took at least a third of the alphabet and think that they could reword the language and start to tell you that you're not this and you're not that. And my emotions tell me that I'm a this, and I forgot what it says. I something as a cat, or I identify. You know, most of the word identify with the two first letters ID. That's the consciousness. That's the subconscious. So when you're talking about I identify, it means that the id is under attack. Look up the id, ID. So the id on our population is under attack right now, and they're semantically attacking us. And once you begin to change the meaning of language, you change the meaning of reality for most people. But metaphysicians know that we look behind the curtain. We deal with cause and not effects. So what I do today, my whole 10-hour webinar is going to be on re-examining the authenticity of reality. Is it authentic? Well, let's re-examine it. That's why I say that most people, they laugh at this. Me, I deal with the flat plane, not the flat Earth. But since flat Earth is kind of the the nomenclature that everybody calls it, I go with the flat Earth. But it's actually a flat plane, and this plane is essentially dealing like when you drop a pebble in the water, you see the rings expand outward. Well, that's what the plane is. The plane is endless, but there are many ice walls. There are different ice walls that have different peoples, white, black, green, and they have different realities, and they're inside of different bubbles, for example. And over us, we do have a dome, a compressed hydrogen dome. You may have heard me say about the compressed hydrogen dome ever since the 90s. But again, this 12-hour, 10 to 12-hour program broadcast is to bring all of what we see as reality together. It's going to tire some people out. Some people don't have the brain cells to keep up with it. But even if you're sleeping, your subconscious is learning. So I would suggest that people today get in before the 15th, because if you're going to come in before the 15th, you're coming in at the discount. After the 15th, it goes back to its regular price. So just be prepared. I have given permission for people to take snapshots of the screen, especially with the teaching, the things that I have to offer, the pictures as well as the narratives that I'm going to be putting down. It's going to be a lot of intensive cerebral information. And it took me at least 4 months to put this together with all the research that I've done, plus things that most people don't know, information that I've got, declassified information that a lot of people don't know exists, regarding how they have maintained the illusion that we're on some kind of spinning water ball, and we're not. We have the Earth does not move. Of course, I was in my earlier works. You may see me defending that because I ignored when the ancestors sent information to me through Brother Gene Gene Anderson, who used to work over there at Weiser's bookstore. He gave me information regarding the flat plane and everything surrounding that particular paradigm.
You talking about Gene Campbell?
Gene Campbell.
I remember. God bless Gene Campbell.
Gene Campbell.
This is shout out to his apprentice, Masani. Yeah.
Masani? Okay.
Yeah, Masani, yeah.
Well, Gene was the one who said, look, Brother Valentine, I got something here that might blow your mind. There's people saying that we live on the flat earth and even our ancestors. And I said, okay, what's the name of the book? He gave me a book called Worlds Beyond the Poles. And I read through it and it was like, oh man, this thing is too heavy for me. I can't actually grasp and put my head around this. And then what happened was I put the book aside. And of course, they always say, and a child shall lead them. And this young sister, her name was Desiree, who was the wife of a friend of mine. He and I were speaking for a while, and all of a sudden, right before we broke off communication, she shouted from the back. She said, "Dr. Valentine, the world is flat." And I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! What was that?" And she said, "Dr. Valentine, the world is the earth is flat." And I said, "I heard that before, but then what do you got there?" And sure enough, a child shall lead them. And I began looking at it, and sure enough, it took me right back to the book that I put aside back in the 1980s. And then from that point forward, I had to, of course, apologize to my brothers and sisters because I actually kept them in the global, I kept them inebriated and intoxicated with globaholism. So I had created globaholics, if you understand, and I made them drunk on false information. So I had to kind of slap them back awake. And of course, it made me look like I was crazy because I started coming out and you began to see me. That's all I now do in order to just stir up conversations so we could talk about it. Now, a lot of people were saying, oh man, you sound crazy, Dr. Valentine. What proof do you have? Well, I couldn't give them the proof because the proof needs for you to be deprogrammed first. You can't absorb the proof because it's too flat in your face. And if you got an idiot like Obama making fun of people, he said, well, these people, they act like, you got to watch the flat earthers. And of course, that became a ridicule. if you're a flat Earth, you got flat Earther, so to speak, you got a tinfoil hat on your head. And I said, okay, well, let me do some investigating. And they have a lot of brothers and sisters, as well as whites, blacks, Asians, everybody who around the world are waking up. So about 10, 15 years ago, I began this crusade to try to open up the minds of the people and bring them back around to a reality. And this re-examination, the authenticity of reality, this re-examining it to see what it is that is real and what is not. And the first, I would say, hour is teaching you all the ways that you've been indoctrinated and programmed. You have to teach people where they've been indoctrinated first before they can actually absorb and accept what's to come. And there's a lot to come. Trust me. You'll be surprised at how much copious amounts of information that goes against the entire globe, the globe hoax, NASA, all of them. We're living in a matrix of lies, straight up lies.
All right, I'm going to, if you want me to, I could play devil's advocate.
Of course.
All right.
I would.
Because the thing. So here, let me go into character now. Hold on, let me put on my little helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going.
Let me do this.
Yeah. Oh! Yeah, I like that. Let me put on my devil's advocate. Ring the bell. Hold on. All right.
Oh, okay.
Protect yourself at all times.
Yes, protect yourself.
All right, here we go. So when I hear you talk about the flat Earth, Brother Phil, who I highly respect, admire, and it makes me think of my millionaire friends who've traveled the world on cruise liners from America all the way around, traveling west. It makes me think of when I went to Hawaii, how I watched the sun setting for like 45 to 50 minutes at least, what is it, 30,000 feet, 35,000 feet. And through the glass pane, everything was flat when we were on the ground, I could see slight curvature. And
what you were looking through was a convex window.
But when it was on the ground, it was flat.
Mm-hmm. But it was under air, it was flat too, because the one thing that most people don't realize is the higher up you go, so does the horizon rises with you. So you're up in the plane and you could look and you could see the flat Earth, but because of the way the window is shaped, it gives you a false sense of curvature. If the window wasn't there, all you would see is a straight line. Mm. Everything can be proven, brother. You have no idea how much research went into this, and pictures.
The other thing I'm going to think of, if the world is flat, how come nobody falls off the cookie? Because I haven't had nobody who came back after saying they fell off the flat Earth. That's all I can think of, because I want to go get me a cup of tea. Bliss, hold it down. I'm going to get me a cup of tea.
The only thing that you fell off was reality, because what they did was they told you that the world was a big giant ball. Check. And they're telling you that it spins at 1,038 miles an hour. So do you feel like you're moving at 1,000 miles an hour? Now, let me ask you this question. It says that the Earth is spinning from west to east at 1,038 miles an hour. If that's the case, how is it that it takes us 5 hours to go from New York to California if it's spinning 1,000 miles an hour in my direction and I'm flying at 500 miles an hour in that direction? I should be there in what, 5 minutes?
Yes.
Why does it take me 5 hours? Now, going from the West Coast, if I'm flying at 500 miles an hour, which most of the airlines fly at a altitude of about 35 or 34,000 feet, if I'm flying at that height and I'm flying in the direction towards New York from California, and the Earth beneath me is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour and I'm flying at 500 miles an hour, when do I get to land?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, now just your simple thinking about what I just said showed you the impossibility of what you've been taking for granted, that this is exactly what it is. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, and we are now circling the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. Yet still the clouds stay very fluffy in the sky. Right? Why
Yes.
do the clouds stay fluffy in the sky if we're moving at such rates that would bend your face back? Supposedly. Okay. So most people are looking at flat Earth because it's been ridiculed. If it's a flat dome, it's not a flat dome.
Okay.
It's not a flat dome. And let this be understood, the space program is one space program because all the governments are into it. All the governments, Russia, China, SpaceX, NASA, India, all of them belong to 33rd degree Masons, and they all come out of the Vatican. It's the Vatican who actually pushed the globaholic reality. And they did so. There was a man, a Greek, who went against the entire paradigm that was set by our ancestors, African as well as our ancestors in the Americas, all around the earth, knew that we were on a flat plane. What happened was when the Catholic Church took over, there was a change in the paradigm because the Greek, his name was Anaxagoras. I always have a problem getting this guy's name. Anaxagoras. I'll get his name together for you. But he put together a theory, wasn't a reality, a theory that we were on a globe based upon the fact that he looked up at a ball sun and a ball moon, same way I did. Now he said, okay, well then if the moon is a ball and so is the sun, then the earth has to be a ball, and set about trying to prove it. Now, after he set that down, nobody picked up on it. Anybody would care because he thought it was crazy. It's just an idea. Then the church said to Copernicus, you pick up on this information. Most people don't know that Copernicus was actually a priest in the Catholic Church. So Copernicus now took it, and Copernicus began to weave around that particular theory and began to give his own idea about what the earth was like as a ball. But he said one thing. He said, please do not publish this until I'm dead. Because he didn't want to have anything to do with it. It sounded too ridiculous to him. What happened was he was overridden by the Catholic Church, and they went ahead and did it anyway. They published his material and said it has to go out. We want everybody to deal with it this way. And there was this thing going on between he and Galileo. Okay, so there was this fighting fighting with the church to see whether we keep with the flat earth reality or flat plane reality, or we go with the new ball earth reality. Well, they took up on Copernicus, and right after that, while Copernicus was still alive, he was sent to a small enclave with one of his students. Turns out one of his students was a Jesuit, and they killed him. They killed Copernicus and buried him in an unmarked grave. Now, here's this great man. Why would you kill somebody quietly and bury them in an unmarked grave? Because you got something to hide. After that, I think it was Pope Paul VII. He wrote an encyclical and said that all books, everybody in the church now must now adhere to the new paradigm that we're on a spinning ball. So everything we're dealing with today around what we think is the reality going on, as far as our scientific reality, our so-called cosmic reality, is based upon the Catholic Church and what they wanted to do. Plus, you got to remember, most of the books, 2/3 of the books that were going out into Western civilization came out of the Vatican. They were the ones printing all the books. So they were the ones that were feeding the information to the education system in the Americas and everywhere that Christianity essentially was established. So that began to be the nurture. They began pushing that. The one person that refuted it, which they killed as well, they gave him poison and caused his stomach to essentially explode. Because remember, the Jesuits were very, very good with poisons. They traveled the entire world studying poisons.
Mm.
Okay, that was the early Jesuits. They went around the world and they went into all the different cultures, different places, and they studied all of the most exotic poisons so they could kill you. You would know that there was an assassination, and then they would take your property. That's how the church became so rich. So now here you have a man by the name of Tycho Brahe. This man was brilliant. Everything he said, everybody hung on his every word. He examined what it is that Copernicus had said. And after that, he had done that, he said, okay, well, I'll agree to put that conversation to the side so we could discuss it. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep to the paradigm that the ancestors and the ancients have always dealt with because they've always navigated by the flat earth. They never navigated by a ball.
Mm.
Ridiculous. And once you understand that when you go into the southern hemisphere, if you are on a ball and you're traveling to the southern hemisphere, it means that the southern hemisphere's circular area must get smaller, right? If you're on a ball,
Mm-hmm.
you go from the north to the south, it means that it curves and goes into a ball. So when you're in that circle, you're not in the equator. As you get further from the equator, it should get smaller and smaller, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it gets wider. So the further south you go, the wider it goes. So when they talk about Magellan and the rest of these people circumnavigating the globe, all they did was they actually just circled the circular perimeter in front of what we call the Antarctic.
Mm.
There are no north or south poles. That's an artifice for navigation only. Now, I know everything I'm saying to everybody is going to sound crazy because you have not been taught the reality, the truth. And it's very, and remember, they told you that 0.0001% of the population actually does research. So everything that we are thinking was given to us to think about. We never did any empirical research. None of it. See, I come from the old school. We didn't have internet and all that. We had to go to the library. We had to go and search. I had to travel to find the information. I had to join secret societies in order to get that information that they keep in their archives. But the kids today, they don't know where to look because all the information has been thrown at them and they don't know what they're looking at. It's just all over the place. They say, where do I go? They don't know where to go to look.
Mm.
You see. So
Information overload.
that's it. And that was a choice. They said we can go with the 1984. This is what the big brothers did. Big brother said, look, we got two choices. We can prevent them from having the information by locking down everything, destroying the books, burning them, making sure they can't get to it. But then they would create an underground. Okay? Yeah, the firmament is the dome. So what they said was, instead of us going with the 1984, we'll go with Brave New World. Now, you remember Aldous Huxley? He wrote Brave New World. He did an opposite. Instead of them holding the information from the people, they said, let's just flood
Mm.
the information out there. They ain't going to know what the hell they're looking at.
Right.
And so everybody's going to pick up a little bit of the information. And it's like blind people touching an elephant and saying, okay, describe an elephant. Somebody got the tail and it's like, oh, I know what the elephant looks like. And somebody got a trunk, somebody got
Right.
a toenail. That's what they did to us. But before they did that, people like ourselves who studied the ancient texts, who were students of the astrotheology of our ancestors, we knew the deal. Studying metaphysics is studying how reality works and how to recognize reality from theory and from the mask that is placed over our eyes, the way that Neo said that, what's his name? The Morpheus said to Neo, You've been dealing in a world that's been pulled over your eyes to blind you. And that's exactly what we're living in right now. And I look at all of the young brothers and sisters who are out there still pushing that globalholic, reality. Some of the brilliant young people are out there teaching, but they're teaching based upon what the European has invested into the new paradigm information that they know cannot be held down. It can't be held down. The truth always crushed to earth will rise again. And it is. And so what they did was they have people that monitor sites like these. And you'd see people come in and start talking, something's wrong with you, or Dr. Valentine did this. Oh, he said that Obama was, what's his name's son, and all these different things that ain't got nothing to do with questioning the reality and coming up with counter statements. It's always about attacking the personal, attack the messenger, hoping that there are people out there who hate enough of me that would hate me instead of listening to what it is I had to say. Mm. So that's where we have to come. We have to come. This is what this webinar is going to be about. And I would defy anybody, because I remember Brother King Simon stepped up to this, what's his name? This court jester who calls himself a scientist, a physicist, Tyson, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and asked him to, come and have a conversation with me. He avoids people like myself, just like Ben Shapiro avoids people like me when it comes to this talk about systemic racism. They always talk to young, impressionable college students who don't know shit from Shinola when it comes to true history. And you got people like Hawass, that maggot, Ari Hawass, who's over there talking about the Egyptians wasn't black.
Yeah. Now that one, I'm definitely stepping in.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Yeah, I'm back now, man. Listen, Phil, that guy's a madman.
Yeah.
Family, this man, now he's trying to separate. Not only was he caught stealing, but he's trying to separate Egypt from the continent of Africa.
Yeah, I know. Well, you see,
no,
you gotta remember
this is crazy. And he was in charge of the tomb raiding operation of the Great Pyramid.
Yeah, of course. Why? Because you have to remember why that particular academic program was begun. Egyptology was started specifically by the Vatican in order to circumvent any information that came out that would cause a ripple in Christianity about the origins of Christianity. So they had to create a study platform. And there are no other countries in existence that has ever had an academic badge. There's never an Americology, a Europology, or Asiology, but you got an Egyptology.
No Israelology.
Yeah.
Right.
No Englandology.
No Englandology. Nothing. Why
that
would?
Was deep.
Yeah.
That was deep when you said that. I was like, oh shoot, they've been screwing with my mind. They done bent. Let me pop this dent out of my rear quarter panel of my brain.
Why would they actually usurp the private study of your own ancestors? Because it's always some European who's trying to tell you, or some Arab who's trying to tell you that they were the ancestors. Everyone who conquered Egypt never changed its name. Why?
We call them in Brooklyn Arabs.
Right. Okay, but you have to understand that the reason why the Arabs, the Greeks, the Macedonians, all of them who conquered Egypt never changed its name, because they understood the legacy and the greatness that was attached to it. And then what they're doing is living in the brightness, in the sunshine, in the legacy itself. They've co-opted it. That's what they call a cultural appropriation. So you have a maggot like Hawass, who was actually arguing against what his own scientists found. I remember looking at a YouTube, and the YouTube was there, and they had these Arabs and Europeans were actually deciphering about a mummy, and they were saying, okay, we've got the mummy, and the process of preserving or preservation was so great that they can get DNA from it. And they were sitting there in a gigantic room, and all of a sudden, when they did their typing and it came up, the haplogroup was black.
Mm.
And then the guy in the back said, "Well, wait a minute, wait a minute. There's something here that we didn't expect. You see? It says the haplogroup is Nubian African, and this is so unexpected. But it doesn't matter what the race is. And all of a sudden, it don't matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So these are scum. These are racist scum who have actually usurped and put, say, for instance, Sigourney Weaver, one of the whitest Snow White women, as the mother of Ramesu. Now they could do that, but now come turn around and complain about the Little Mermaid, saying that they're race swapping and that we're woke. Well, yeah, we've been woke because woke meant something different to us. The white
Phil,
woman
I want to
says,
give our brother
ooh,
Angel Kachichi, and I want to give Ali. They living in Egypt now. Ali, I want to give a special shout out to Capricorn Ali, um, and God bless him and their little daughter, Goddess, and that's all I wanted to say about that. But yeah, touch on that mermaid, boy, because that mermaid brought up it raised the devil of racism, brother.
yeah, well, they're playing with us right now because they've been race swapping. You imagine John Wayne playing Genghis Khan?
Huh.
John Wayne played Genghis Khan, but ain't nobody said nothing about that. Hmm? You got Yul Brynner playing Ramses. Hmm? You got, what's the name of this white man? I forgot this name of this Australian, pale white, playing Heru. And they complain about them race swapping, but they never go back into the history. And they call us woke. And they've used the words that we will use. Remember when Erica Badu says, I stay woke. What did that mean to us? It meant that we stay conscious now. And that word began to take on a greater meaning for us when Brother Tariq Nasheed came out with Hidden Colors. When Hidden Colors came out, we began to study a history that was not taught to us in school.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yep.
So that a lot of the black colleges began incorporating that particular documentary series into their curriculum because it was right on, it was factual, and it was the history that was not being told in the schools that Europeans' books were actually teaching our children. Now, when we said, they steal everything, our dances, our rap, everything. They want to come in there and then they say, well, this is the person we'll show. These are the people that we'll show as the American, we're the ones that created it, so to speak, because you don't see any black people dancing anymore. You see white people dancing to our old music nowadays, if you notice. So what has happened so far is that we don't have a way to keep our culture in our own establishment. In other words, when we say woke, white people take the word woke, and it was a white woman who snatched it. The white feminists took the word woke and used it against their white males. So that's why the white males were so pissed off with that word, and they would use it for everything. Anything that had to do with investigating them and their racism or this race swapping. And because they have the platforms with the millions of viewers and the money to actually back it, they're the ones now who could take a word that was something had a deeper meaning for us and now use it against us, because anything that's woke is something that's troubling. And if you go woke, you go broke. In other words, if you act like a Negro, you act like a black man, you're going to go broke. If you talk or do anything that shows that the white man no longer is in power, you are woke. And of course, since they have the money, they're always going to be the ones that are going to actually tell you whether you're successful or not. So they can actually use the power of racists like Ben Shapiro, who's a Zionist racist, who pretends he's not, who goes up against black men and black women in high places or in education and wears them out because they don't know a damn thing about their own culture.
Hmm.
They don't come after us. They don't come after Dr. Smalls. They don't come. They wouldn't. They wouldn't dare come after Van Sertima or Dr. Ben. They wouldn't come after Dr. Clark. They wouldn't come after the real ones. They
Right.
go after these boule Negroes
Yeah.
who sold out. They don't know how to have a proper conversation because they're getting paid by Rockefeller. Remember, Rockefeller's the one who runs the boule.
Right.
So, like I said, everything I'm going to be telling you about is not new. It's old. It's just being resurrected again. And I'm glad that that I was that I was shaken awoke by this young child, this young girl, who essentially shouted out, and I'm happy that I took that 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 spark that the ancestors sent to us to me and began to run with it. So I'm hoping that you all are there. Be ready because it's going to be a lot of information. I don't know how long we have platforms like these to be able to tell the truth. It's getting ready to be very bad out here, family. Trust me. And I want to talk to you, brothers and sisters in the West Indies and along the areas of the West Indies. There's going to be weather wars that you've never seen coming. They're going to be hurricanes that they are going to be investing. They want to take over certain islands and use them as bases. So they want to wipe out a lot of the population and a lot of the cities, towns in some of these islands that's there in the West Indies. Be prepared because they're coming for it with weather wars.
Wow. Whew, that's heavy. That's some heavy stuff. I actually do have a question though. So I learned by looking at things. So if you're saying the earth is flat like this and there's a dome over it, right? And then underneath that,
that's what they call the Sheol. That's the flat plane. If you go, the deeper you go, the hotter it gets. The higher you go, the colder it gets. So those are the two temperatures that keep us essentially on this plane. Now, here's the deep part about it. There is more water beneath the earth than there is above it. And it's trapped in stones.
so what about the idea that there are beings living inside of the earth? I mean, how could they be?
You have to remember, we only went down 8 miles before the Russian borehole went down 8 miles before it stopped. It couldn't go any further.
Oh,
that's right. It got stopped. And what happens is now the Chinese want to go further. They've been digging now a hole, and I think they got I think they have 6 or 7 miles that they've dug so far. They haven't dug as deep as unless I'm mistaken, they haven't dug as deep as the Russians have gotten. They closed off that hole that goes all the way down into that center, and it gets hotter and hotter. And what happened was the borehole, the drill began to overheat and began to melt.
What?
Yes.
Oh, like that. I think there was a cartoon or a TV show, Journey to the Center of
the
the
earth, right?
Earth, where
Yeah. But they have beings that live in the earth as they do above it. But see, the dome, Mars, Jupiter, and all these are not planets. They're actually islands and lands outside of the dome. The dome extends. You can actually get to these other lands the way that what's his name? The guy who went to the Antarctic and they chased him out of there. Not Perry, Admiral Byrd. The Germans burrowed through a hole and they created a place for Hitler called Asgard. And there are two different rings. There's our ring, which is what we call the Antarctic. Then there's a second ring, and the portal to that second ring is called the Portal of Osiris. And it's covered with land. You have to remember too that everything is water. Everything is what we call water. There are different degrees of frequencies in which we go from gas to liquid to solid. The solid part, I'm not going to reveal anything yet, but in my lecture, I show you how there is trillions of gallons of water locked up in a stone, a blue stone. Yeah, it's going to be something that you, like I said, the education you're going to get from this webinar is going to blow your mind. It blew my mind. And there's so much of it. Listen, you know the frames of I like these frames that I have of my slides for the webinar and the PowerPoint. So far, I have 415.
My goodness.
Yes. So you imagine with all of the pictures and the narratives and everything that goes with it, starting at 2 o'clock, I know I might not even end until 2 o'clock the next day. If y'all can take it. Okay? Because there is so much information that they've been hiding from everyone. It takes that much of you being able to absorb it. And of course, I'm going to have little music in between, 5-minute breaks for you to go to the bathroom, whatever, and so forth.
Doc, are we going to record it so that?
Yeah, it's going to be recorded because I'm going to be starting a brand new website called Webinarchive. One word, Webinarchive. And all of my previous webinars are going to be on there, and they're going to be streamed, and you'll have access to them.
Yes. That's a great idea. I love that. I love that.
So just be ready to go to school. It's going to be brain-soaking, brain-draining information. I hope you all can keep up, because you know I got long wind. That's one thing about Dr. Valentine. Me and Bobby can talk forever. I think Bobby was in California. He talked for 10 hours. I came after him and talked for 11 and a half hours. And it was like, people were out there. I could hear the snoring in the back. And they said, well, he's asleep, Dr. Valentine. Well, he's learning. If he's hearing anything, it's downloading. He's getting a download.
Someone has a question about underground cities.
Yes, there are. They're called DUMBs, deep underground military bases.
With no sun down there?
They do have radiators. The sun is an irradiator of certain frequencies. Okay, so you can have a sun lamp that gives off the same type of light source. And there is an internal sun, they said, that's inside as well, but it's artificial. It's supposed to have been artificially made by our ancestors who actually survived the great deluge that wiped out the originals. It opened up the dome. Because remember, everybody was kind of weirded out when I said that what you're breathing is water. Water of a different quality, water of a different frequency, water of a different atomic spin. There are different densities. And you're under, I would say, maybe 1,300 pounds per square inch of pressure. And that's what constitutes what we call densities. So you go from a density that is, say, in outer space, or something that has a higher density, or something that where the particles are spinning at a much higher and faster rate. And then as you get down, as the elements, the fire, air, water, and earth, or the WORD, is actually condensing itself, then a pressurized zone is created. And that's where we're existing, in a pressurized zone that we call third density or third dimension.
King Simon.
Special shout out to King Simon.
King Simon.
Greetings.
We on tomorrow. Y'all tune in tomorrow. I'm on with Brother King Simon too.
Peace, peace, King Simon.
Peace, King.
Family, go to King Simon's page, like, subscribe. He gave me the magic of an interview, and I shared on the platform the two herbs, one from Africa, Dr. Phil, and the other one from South America. When you combine them, it's like a rejuvenation. Kinkaliba and Gayusa. Family, go over and listen to King Simon's show. That same combination seemed to activate crystals.
Come on. We talk about that and talking about activating your dark crystal. We definitely going to talk about that too tomorrow. And we're going to tell, not tomorrow, but on the 25th, we're going to tell you how to time travel without a time machine. You are the time machine.
How to time travel.
Not like you talking about them shrooms, Doc.
Well, no, we don't need shrooms right now with this.
Oh, okay.
You can use shrooms as a Kickstarter, but you are the technology because you are the mind that operates outside of time. So you can enter time and exit it once you understand how the ancient masters did it. You ever heard of the Akasha?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the Akasha is?
No, you can tell me.
Oh, okay. Well, the Akasha is supposed to be the memory engrams of past thoughts and deeds that are in a plane of existence that does not die. They say energy cannot be created, nor can it be destroyed. So when you think, you create an atom. When you create an atom has a purpose. It finds a destination into whatever that reality was thought, was birthed for. So every time you think about something, you have an emotional signature that is based upon you giving to that atom a destination to become something. So as humans think, as humans have sex, as humans have great inspiration about blah, 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 all of that is in the thoughts of man. It becomes what is known as the social consciousness of humanity.
Sorry about that.
So the social consciousness of great civilizations are floating in the atmosphere, and they call that the Akasha. Well, what the European is trying to do is to tap into the Akashic records, and that's what they're doing now. That's what's making them go to these different places and create the technologies to find ancient civilizations that have been buried by time. Now, the secret, which we're going to teach, is that your thought process is time. Thought is time. Time is an element. You know, fire, air, water, and earth. You ever heard of those?
Yes.
Well, time is an element too. Everybody thinks time is something that's just a visceral thing, something you wear on your wrist. It's an illusion. No, without time, nothing can actually exist in third density because time creates the loop, or it creates the particular time reference for that, for this aggregate of atoms and particles that you call your avatar, your body. There is a time signature attached to it. You can extend it for 1,000 years, you can extend it for 2,000 years, but it has a time signature that has to die back into where it was created from, which is an illusion. Matter is an illusion, though it does take on form and it has a purpose. Okay? Now, when you understand how everything comes into play, you have fire, air, water, and earth. Fire is sight. Okay, these are four elements that constitute the base of the pyramid of life. Fire, air, water, and earth. Those are the four elements. There are no five elements. There are only four physical elements. The fifth that brings it all together is time. Now, the four elements are conscious as themselves. Listen carefully what I'm saying to you, family. They're conscious as themselves. So fire only knows itself as fire. Water only knows itself as water, earth, and so forth. They don't know what each other is about until they become the avatar. So now when all four are working in this avatar, the fifth element, thought, activates the purpose for all four of these. And then instead of them just being conscious as themselves, in here, they become conscious of themselves. So now the word begins to come out in the way you talk and the way you think. And so what happens now for that particular manifestation to take place, for the clock to be set for matter, thought is the one that brings that about. So how does fire express itself on the avatar? Sight. How does air express itself on the avatar? Hearing, because you can't hear in a vacuum. How does water express itself? Huh? Taste. You can't taste anything unless you got water in your mouth. If you ever tried tasting something with a dry mouth, doesn't work. And smell, of course, with the smells: fire, air, water, and earth. Earth is scent. Okay, so now these four are working. Listen carefully. These four are working. The fifth element comes along and ties these together. The tying together that brings the illusion and coagulates everything is thought. And scientists know that atoms only react when you notice them. Particles and atoms are what they call psychoreactive to your thoughts. So that means thought and time are one. So how does time express itself? Time expresses itself as thought, just like fire expresses itself as sight, just like air expresses itself as the power of hearing. Time expresses itself as thought. So when you have an experience and say 10 years ago somebody beat you up, that's downloaded in your mind. And then when you bring that back and you say, damn, I remember when I got my ass kicked, you just time traveled. And you bring up the name of the face, you have the face of the person, you remember the feelings that you had. Well, if you understand how to consolidate that and go into a meditation and then leave your body to that moment, you can visit that moment as if you were still there.
There are times when I think about some things, and you're right, I can actually smell certain things, feel certain things, and it's almost as if the event is reoccurring.
Yes.
So that's
exactly.
the past.
Yes.
I want to take that same energy with the future.
Mm-hmm.
Is that possible?
If you do not place any regulations for what that future will be. You see, we come from the past, and everything we do is based on what we learn and we catalog from the past. So every time you think about something, you're thinking about the past. There is no future thought. Think about something that never existed before. Can you think of something that never existed before?
Yeah, I could think of something I never thought of before.
What?
Grandma's hot cornbread buttered tomorrow morning.
Well, you know what? If you had the only way for you to know grandma had hot buttered, what do you call it? Because you had it.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
There's no future.
Future thought could be an invention or idea that I want to create.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yes, but you can also look at timelines based upon the reoccurring of certain situations, and you could always predict it. That's why those who control us set up something that I teach in our university called synthetic synchronicity. That's a coined word that I created. There's synchronicity means things that happen one after the other. Check? Mm-hmm. Okay. If it's synthetic, it means that we're being regulated along a timeline that someone else has created. Okay? Somebody else has created a timeline that we believe is real because they keep giving evidence that the timeline is real. We don't know any better. So we follow it and give power to it. And so it happens. That's why it's becoming more and more difficult for them to synthetically synchronize our reality because of people like you, people like me, people like Bobby, because we're telling the people that, hey, they're walking off a cliff. They're off a cliff. You don't see the cliff, but you're walking off of it. Ask him, what is ether? Ether essentially is the bridge between time and your thought. That's the place where thoughts consolidate realities. That's the material area.
Well, I'm gonna tell you now. I'm getting high and going into trance listening to this conversation because I think you're right about being able to travel through time. Because when I studied NLP, Doc, Bliss, family, they taught us how to go in time. You can go into the future, you can go into the past. You know, you're right. You dead on with that one, bro. I don't know about the flat Earth cookie, but I know you right about time travel.
Well, time travel is something that they tell you have to do with a machine. That's the European, because he has a calcified pineal. His calcified pineal makes him have to use artificial means. So when you see him cover himself in armor like Iron Man, that's him trying to put on the armor of melanin. And so Iron Man is actually what we have as melanin makes us melanites, MELAKNIGHT. As a melanite, you already have the armor, you already have the suit necessary for you to pick up dark matter energies. Remember, the sun is a programmer. It holds programs. And have you noticed that the higher up you get closer to the sun, the colder it gets?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Aren't you getting closer to the sun?
Right.
Right. Why is it getting colder then? Because the sun is not a ball of fire. That's another lie.
So what is it? A ball of
irradiator. It's an irradiator.
It's an irradiator.
Yes. And if you notice, you go to the deepest parts of our earth, the lower plains, that's like under sea level, that's where that's where it's hottest.
Family, some of you having questions about everything is in the show description as far as the link.
The link is, I think you have to separate where it says Eastern Time, HTTP, separate that so they could see where it actually begins.
Yeah, because they could do, Phil, I put everything in the show description.
Oh, okay, good enough.
The full description, family, is in the you can press the links and register, and everything's in the show description already. I'm putting this banner across as a link, a piece of the link, but I couldn't do the whole thing. It's in the show description. Everything you sent me, Phil, is in the show description.
Fantastic, thank you.
Okay, I have 2 questions, and I'm not really sure if it was time travel. So I had an experience where I received some snake venom from one of the brothers in the community, and that night I went home and I went to sleep, or at least I thought I was sleeping, and I ended up in someone else's apartment, and I was told that was astral traveling. Is that a version of time traveling on a certain level, or it has nothing to do with time travel at all?
The element that you used to go to that space is the same technology that puts you into time framed references. So in other words, the part of you that can actually put yourself or cast your consciousness takes you out of time, and then through the subconscious selectivity that you have, you selected that place in your mind and you went there. So the same mechanism that you do, you can go to visit maybe when you were a child or when you were, you can do that.
Wow. That particular medicine I received was to assist me with meditation.
Okay, there you go. See, what is the first 2 words in meditation?
Med.
No, the first 2 letters.
Oh, M-E. Me.
That's right. Me. And so what we talk about is me is more personal. I is impersonal. So me dictation, I call it, not meditation, because most people are looking, my department, they want to start using things to shut their thoughts off. Because until you learn how to quiet your thoughts, because your thoughts are not part of you. You create your thoughts. Your thoughts are not you. Most people think they are because they've let their thoughts take over. So what they once you understand how to do, think about this, beloved. When you're thinking a thought and you see images or you hear music, what is hearing the music? What is listening to the words, and what is seeing the images?
Would it be my soul? I'm guessing at this point.
See, those people don't know that you can actually look at your thoughts, but what's looking at your thoughts? They say another thought. No, it's not. It's your observer, the real you, the you that you are, the one that is actually listening to me. See, I stopped your thinking. As soon as you start thinking, as soon as you listen to me, say you're listening to me, you're not thinking. You're just processing now.
Right.
Now, after I said that, you're going to start thinking. You see what I'm saying? You're saying, okay, now I got what you said. I can ask you a question based upon what you've given to me. Now my thoughts are saying, okay, I got it. What does this mean? Understand that when you are when your thoughts are actually, now what was your question? Because essentially I want to go someplace. What was your fundamental question first?
Oh, the other question.
Yeah.
So the other question was, when I was younger, I would have these dreams, and then later on, it would happen. Like, it would be like I would have a dream that we're on YouTube right now with you. You're exactly where you're at. Rising Sun is exactly, everything is in place, and it would be like people were saying it's deja vu, and I shouldn't pay any attention to it. So I was afraid that eventually one day I might see something bad, and I was praying for it to go away. And it did go away, but when I started taking some of the psychedelics, it started to come back.
Okay,
So
now
what is that?
I'll tell you, you hit it right on the head. You looped on yourself. Now, deja vu is looping a particular expression, experience. This is not the first time you and I spoke. Check?
Check.
Right. So every time you seem to have a deja vu, it's because your mind in the moment equated with a past moment, brought it forward to this moment, and you're thinking that this is the same thing I thought of before.
Wow.
So what you're doing is looping back to something that you have cataloged in your brain, in your mind, and you brought it forward to this part of your frontal lobe, and you're saying, whoa, that looks very familiar. Of course it's familiar, because you've just juxtaposed that memory to something that seems to be the same as that, and it probably was. You're talking to the same person, you're in the same situation, and when you're dreaming, remember, dreaming is a form of time traveling. Yeah. Remember, dreams happen in pictures. They don't happen in words. You may see words every now and then, but dreams themselves essentially are you, the subconscious, coming to the conscious mind, hoping to have a conversation with the conscious mind that the conscious mind can understand, because the subconscious mind is constantly feeding information to you based upon what you have not filtered yet. You see, because everything that you're taking in, especially when you're looking at television or movies, that filter that you have that gives meaning to your subconscious mind, which is why it's very dangerous for children to just be placed in front of a television. Okay? Don't try to shut down your psychic powers. Okay? I won't. What happens is your filter, you don't have a filter, it gets right past your filter, goes into your subconscious, and your subconscious is constantly feeding information that you discarded because of your conscious mind. If you started taking everything in, you would actually have experiences like someone who's autistic. When somebody's autistic, it means they can't filter to concentrate. Everything is coming in. All types of sensory things are coming in all at once. So they have you notice that they're always like this and so forth. It's because everything is affecting them. They can't filter. You see.
Man, there's a bunch of folks in the neighborhood like that, Brother Phil. They look like that all the time, man. I don't know what's in the candy at the corner.
The vaccinations do that.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. I'd say almost 50% of our folks are out are mental.
Yeah. Yeah, look at the food they're eating. Look at what they're downloading as information. And once you get into the matrix, because this is what this is, you become essentially part of the matrix. You can't see children without this thing sitting in their faces. In the airports, you see children 5 and 6 years of age, and they're all inside of the matrix. You see?
Yeah. Tell us about, let's touch on that. Mental illness in the hood. What would you say is a percentage between the toxic food and the vaccines and the social media, Twitter and all that? Tell us a little bit about how crazy folks are presently.
Well, you can look around and see what's going on with the parents, the single parent households. They don't have any really creative things to give to their children. They send them off to these schools to be deducated and killed. They kill the brain cells.
I'm taking that word from you, brother. I'm hijacking that word. Deducated. Y'all hear this? We're developing a new language right here with Dr. Phil. I ain't never thought of that. I'm gonna get on my bicycle and say deducated corner.
Well, that's what I call it. I've been calling it for the last 15 years, the deducation system. That's what it does. It kills reason. It kills critical thinking. It indoctrinates. Look what they're doing to our children today. Look at who's reading to them today. And the thing is, you have to watch who it is that's actually promoting this. It's our sisters. Not our sisters, but the European woman. She's pushing this kind of nonsense, which is why the male is so adamant when he says woke, 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 woke. Everything is woke, woke, woke. That's because he's pissed off with his own woman. And because she stole our reality from us, all he has to do is just say woke, and that's supposed to shut down any discussion on racism or systemic racism. You can't talk about racism. And look who they got talking about racism. They have women who are homosexuals who took over the so-called Black conscious movement or the Black revolutionary movement, got paid by Soros, Bloomberg, Rothschild to set up Black Lives Matter. And when that first came out, everybody was pissed with me, especially Facebook. When I said, do not trust Black Lives Matter, I even put it up who it was that was funding them. They were pissed with me. Now look, they are not a revolution. They're nothing. They went ahead and buy a big mansion with your money. It was the Black Lives Matter was a money laundering scheme for the Democratic Party.
You know what, Phil? Now that you're getting into this, how come our sisters are so easily bamboozled by white women's agenda?
Because we failed at taking over. When they killed our leaders, they killed off the so-called Messiah energy and the leadership qualities that were supposed to be in the Black man's favors. What they did also, because we adopted and became part of their economic narrative, we had our own bus line, our own shipping line, we had our own taxi line, our own education system, our own banking, everything, until they destroyed it. And then they actually manipulated a man called Martin Luther King, who was essentially approached by Ashkenazi communists who had access to the media to promote division. So they came out and they created this thing where they wanted to make sure that the Republican mind that created the Black Wall Street, individualism, collective economics, all of that is republicanism. So they needed to move Black people from a Republican state of mind and put them into the Democratic state of mind, which was started by the Klan.
And they've ate it hand over fist. They got bamboozled. I mean, from the 60s, from the sisters getting paid off to chase the husband out the apartment and get a paycheck. I mean, it's pathetic.
Yeah.
And then Martin Luther King, after he did all that, he said, "Oops,
yep.
I think I guided my people into a burning house." And then they smoked him.
Yep. He was
50 years later, here we are.
Matter of fact, that particular speech, "I have a dream," that one was written by a white man. He was paid something like $25,000 to do that and get off the stage.
Wow.
It was written by a white man. You notice how he got out of there quickly. You see who was surrounding him. There was a number of white people around him. Okay, so they knew what they were doing when they wanted to bring us. You see, it was the Ashkenazi, the one they call the Jews, who are not the Jews. These are the imposter Jews. They even admitted it, because the Hebrew Israelites showed that they're not the Jews. They're the ones who were funding this thing to incorporate us and to integrate us into the white system, because what? You had the black baseball. They used to kick the crap out of the Yankees in exhibition games. Josh Gibson, They said that boy hit a ball that still ain't come down yet. He had over 800 home runs.
You know, I'm going to say it's off the cookie. It's beyond the cookie.
It's beyond the cookie. So it's 800. He had 812 home runs, where Babe Ruth had something like 715, which Hank broke. So you have to understand it was necessary to destroy what became an economic enemy for those who were in charge. We were rising because we were the ones who had the special training as so-called slaves and captives. We learned how to build a country, what to do to maintain a country. And we did, because we were the indigenous peoples. We're no Africans brought over here. Africans constituted what, 3 or 4% that came here?
Yo, and no Africans be hanging out with the brothers talking about, let's go back to Africa.
Because they know that they don't belong here. The Africans essentially were taken to the West Indies and to British, to South America. That's where 90% of them were sent.
Yeah.
So we know that we're the indigenous peoples, which is why we took on Negro, nigger, black, and all these different nomenclatures that separated us from our real heritage as a talking. So they knew that once that if we were given that much freedom to build up and be successful with our own Wall Street, they knew that the competition was definitely fierce, because since we could kick the shit out of the Yankees, who were God's gift to sports, just imagine what we could do economically. And that was a threat that they had to foresee, and they destroyed the ability for us to do for ourselves. And then at the end of it, that they made us look like we fought and we won. We went against the hoses, against the dogs. They gave us something to fall back on, to show us that we had pain, that we went through the crucible to get our freedom. And then we had this scumbag, this maggot by the name of Johnson, Lyndon Baines Johnson, one of the stinkest freaking racists that are out there, who was participant in the assassination of Kennedy. As he was signing the Civil Rights Act, he said, I'm going to have these niggers voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And they are. You have these people that's in Congress right now that are really coming down, and Joy Behar and that clucking hen of witches who essentially are using racism. Oh, they're racist this, racist that. She's a plant. She's a Zionist plant. And the Zionists know that we are nothing more than cannon fodder. They use black people. That's why you see them doing what they're doing in Hollywood. They hate white folks. They're the so-called Jew is the enemy of the white man. Most people don't know that. They even marry off to white people because that's part of the plan. And I know I sound crazy. I'm not crazy. I studied them. I had Jewish friends. Jewish friends, I'm talking about who were part of that, who told me, showed me where to look for the information, showed me that this was all a plan, that the Jews hate the white man, that he is their number one enemy, and the Negro, the black man, who are the goyim, the cattle, they're useful idiots. We are the useful idiots that essentially side with them. So they pumped up the Klan, gave the Klan the power, because they're the ones who ran the industry. And most people don't know that the NRA, the National Rifle Association, were the ones that provided us the bullets to defend ourselves against the Klan. But the NRA is, we got to get rid of these assault rifles. Don't get rid of nothing that can shoot back.
You got that right. They be putting our women in the front of the TV screen, say, "Oh, get rid of all the guns. Get rid of all the guns."
Yeah,
you better believe, family.
Yeah,
outside the city limits of, and look what's going on in Chicago. The self-hate.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy.
Chicago. You mean Chirac?
Yeah.
Little Chirac over there is like Iraq.
You know, they stage all of these so-called mass shootings. This is what do you call MK Ultra. They have sleepers, and notice all of them are on some form of psychotropic drug.
Yes.
All of them are on drugs. All of them are loners. All of them are expendable. And if you notice, these people they say are poor, but they have some of the most expensive, sophisticated weaponry to carry out their killing.
Yep.
See? And most people are not picking up on that. They're just going with their emotions because you see, the entire society has been feminized. So we don't look at it from critical thinking anymore. We think of it from our emotions. How do I feel about this? Oh my God. Listen, you should feel badly about this. You should feel feminine about this, feminine feelings. We want our women to have that feeling for us and for the society, because that empathy is what we need to give us a counterbalance to our critical thinking.
You know what, Phil? You just hit it. One of the saddest things I ever hear is when brothers call me and say, how you feel. I'm like, damn, man, he got castrated. You know, instead, I have never, brother, when I've called Brother Phil or King Simon, I have never heard them say, oh, how you feeling, Unc? How you feel? It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
I feel with these fingers, if she's right there, that I feel. I love feeling. That's my comfort. I'd squeeze them together and just, I feel them.
And brothers, watch out when you hear another brother say, feelings, nothing more than feelings.
Trying to forget my feeling of, oh, give me.
Run, Forrest, run!
No, I love the feelings and empathy that my wife gives to me because she keeps me real. I'm the one who argues. I said this thinking of, but she says, well, you know, and that's, okay. I didn't think of it like that. See, that's the counterbalance we're missing in our communities now. The feminine energy has become masculine. So it's in competition with my thoughts.
Say that again. Say that again, Phil. What happened? Hold on. Let me go full screen. Say that again.
The feminine principle has become masculine. It has morphed and lost its identity and tried to co-opt mine and is doing a bad job with it. That's why I say women should not have power. And I'm not saying that to be derogatory. Women should not have power until they stop hemorrhaging every month.
Ooh, how about this one? Hey, brothers and sisters, look how the men have been emasculated here in America. Watch how they walk behind the woman like a dog on a leash. In the natural, I mean, I've been out in the woods, Phil, family. A brother does not allow the woman to be in the front where she might run into snakes
or
bears
or walk through a door, Hank. You don't let your woman go through a door first. That women and children first was for them to be eaten by the sharks before the men went in. Black man would never do that.
Look, family, look at when you sit in your car, like you park your car, you know, because like the brothers be sitting in the car sometimes just watching the parade, or we might be on the corner together. You know, like, you notice brothers, we congregate outside the liquor store or places like that. And you can watch and see the brainwashed, broken young men following behind the woman. I can say, you know, like, who raised that?
Well, look who raised them.
Who raised them?
Look who raised them. Look who they actually imprinted. They argue like women. They argue like RuPaul.
And some of them gossip like women too.
Come on now, mama. They gossip like
Uh-oh. Say it again, Bliss. Say it again.
Some of them gossip like women.
Yes, they
do.
They do. They do. They have to keep that conversation going the way their mother is, on the phone with a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. We don't imprint our boys anymore. That's why I took my son away from his mother when he was 7 years of age. In other words, she could not have the decision the last decision on his life and what his decisions would be.
Mm-hmm.
See, and she wanted him, bless her heart, to go to college because he was one of the youngest people in the city to ace because he was homeschooled. My son Amin Ra, by the way, if you want to look at some of the things he's done, go up and watch a song that he choreographed with Sting and Will I Am. He choreographed that, and he was the choreographer for LL Cool J and Whole Nine Yards. But when he aced his high school equivalency, he was the youngest person to take it. I had to lie for his age. He was like 15 when he went in to take it. He's supposed to be going to 16, and they let him go in. But he was the youngest person to take it, and he aced it. He got 2 wrong in the comprehension and 1 wrong in the math. Aced it. So his mother said, oh, college. Yeah, Hercules. I said, nah, hell to the no.
Mm-hmm.
This boy's going to do what he does. He's going to have his own business. He's going to do what he did. 16 years old, he had his own business. He was the one that was hiring the girls for what you saw back then when hip hop was growing. He was hiring the girls to be the background dancers and getting a cut, $5 cut from everyone. Got his own apartment, got permission, and got a tattoo at 16, which you're not supposed to do it by yourself. So he got my permission. And so we went out to Coney Island, and it was one of the members of, what's the Latin gang again? The Latin
King.
Mm-hmm. One of the heads of the Latin Kings that did his first tattoo.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it was beautiful too. So I designed it. I said, you ain't gonna put just any crap on your body. So I designed both his tats.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to ask a question. I know that you mentioned like years ago we had our own hospitals, a lot of businesses, and we're talking about 60, 70 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right now,
more than that, in the 50s.
How do we get back to that? Like you're talking about, we're going to need our own land so that we can produce our own food. Therefore, we'd have to have our own stores. Then we would have to have our own property. We would have to have our own distributors. We would have to have our own, like this is like a lot of stuff that we would have to own, manufacture, grow, create, manage, distribute amongst our community. And we're spread out everywhere at this point. We're all over.
Right.
You know,
you ever heard that part in the movie? If you build it, they will come.
Yes.
Yes. So we're about to build it.
Ashe.
Yeah, I can't say any more.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That just to give a little prediction. You know,
that was me looking into the future again.
There you go. There you go.
Nice. Beautiful family. You guys got any questions?
No, I think they went to sleep. I bored them to death.
Yo, no, man. This is, you got me in trance, but I'm in a revolutionary trance state. You know, that's you know what I'm saying is that's why it's so important for us to, even if we're not into, if we might be coming from, and most of us coming from trauma, just at least have a crystal other than your phone, because your phone is a liquid crystal, family. LCD screen is liquid crystal display. I find that the more I wear my crystals, Brother Phil and Bliss, the clearer my thoughts are. Because a rock is like disorganized on a molecular level. That's the hood. That's the neighborhoods now from the civil rights era. We are now like lumps of mud and rocks, disorganized, no network, no accountability. The women have no accountability to the sisters, or the elder sisters. The young men have no accountability to the brothers. And this is a dilemma in our community. Because you go in the Italian neighborhood, you go in the Chinese neighborhood, you go into the Pakistani or the Indian, they got a hierarchy.
But they've never gone through what we went through, even though when they did go through, there was too many of them, and their culture and their religion was not taken from them, was not destroyed the way ours was. Mm-hmm. So you have to understand that we are Osiris. Remember when Osiris was killed by Set, he was cut into 16 pieces. That's us at this point. And so that's where Ast came in. She and her sister Nephthys is the one who helped bring us back together as men. Then she got the standing rod, put it back on where she sat on it and made Heru. And what does that mean? It means that she gave birth to the resurrection. That's what Heru is. That's what Jesus was. Jesus is Heru, the resurrection.
And this is the latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko on the left. And this is the latest ascended master in Senegal. Both bulletproof, hungry lion proof, and flew through the air. Simeon Toko got chopped up physically about 20 times, and he reassembled.
Mm-hmm. So we have the avatars, and we have the messengers. They're all here, and they're speaking through us. And the thing is, there's such a lot of noise going on, which is why they want to suffuse the atmosphere with all these different 5Gs and 6Gs. They're already up to 8Gs, and they're going to leash that out when the time comes, after they hit us with storms and they build back up the electrical infrastructure. They're going to start putting in the 5, 6, 7, and 8Gs. And also, I suggest that everyone gets themselves a generator of some kind. Get themselves some food and water, and get a strong enough generator to keep your refrigerators going. Keep minimum amount of stuff in your refrigerator. Get yourself canned foods that are organic, and the cans can't be essentially aluminum or any of those. Make sure you put them. The cans say that they're in a storage safe, canned. In other words, canned foods are organic, and they don't absorb the poisons from the container itself.
Thank you, brother. You know what, Phil? I want you to get some rest because you are a precious resource, and you just rocked the house for 2 hours. So, everybody, the show description. I mean the link and registration to the webinar date June 25th this year, 2 to 11 p.m. Take your vitamins, drink your water. Brothers, hold your liquid crystal. Sisters, take your greens, because Phil's going to be bamboozling for that looks like at least 10 hours or more.
So one more thing, just in case you're having problems, I told everybody, if you're having problems getting in and it's for some reason there's a problem you registering from the link, just send a request to my private email, which is sunnu777@gmail. Once again, S is in science, U, N is in Nancy, N is in Nancy, U, 777@gmail.com. Make sure in the subject box you put all in capitals webinar, and then just make your request, and I will send you the link for you to go ahead and get it. That's only in case if you're having a problem with it. And of course, be on the lookout for any of the information, any of the services that my wife essentially has. It's called what do you call it, sweetheart? The services you have when you have your Juice Plus links.
One simple change.
One simple change. Okay, you could request about information for one simple change.
Or my newsletter.
Or you can request for her newsletter as well. Send it, okay?
No, brother Phil, Dr. Phil, she sounds like a jazz vocalist.
Yeah, well,
did you hear her voice, Bliss?
She's not just a jazz vocalist.
I heard that, man. I'm into music. She sound like a jazz. Hold on a second. You sound like a jazz vocalist, sister.
Well, she used to sing.
I heard it. Yeah. I love music.
Any kind of music.
Yeah, man. OJ's Philly sound.
Yes,
I caught that, brother. Y'all caught that? and feminine voices. That's why I love having Miss Bliss on the platform.
Can I just say one thing?
Oh, hold on. Let me pull you full screen. Yeah. Talk to us, sister.
Just if you're going to ask if you're having issues, as my husband says, it must be before the day of. Because if you're sending emails and all of that on the day that he's actually, unless it's in the morning before 12, anytime between now and 12 noon on the 25th, if you're having any issues, send that email. However, it must be done before then because other than that, we're on live and we can't respond to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So don't even try to get to me during the time that the webinar is on and kicking, because I'm not going to answer you. I can't answer you. I go into a
Yep.
trance when that happens. Because to be able to talk for 11 hours, I can't be here all day. I have to be in a whole other plane.
Yo, that means you are just a natural griot, man. I want to acknowledge the griot spirit within you, brother.
Give
Before we
thanks.
close out, that's brilliance, genius in our hood. And also, I want to acknowledge, and you know what? We don't say this often enough. I am honored to know the genius of Dr. Phil, the genius of Bobby Hemmett, the genius of brother um, Rich, the genius
Hmm.
of King
Brother.
Simon. Yes, I'm calling y'all geniuses
Hmm.
because you focus, and thank you for the feminine genius of Miss Bliss. I want to thank you, and
Yeah,
all the sisters who are holding the pools of feminine water. Thank you for giving us brothers hope.
definitely. We need that womb energy that's righteous, and that's why I wrote the Wounded Womb, to helpfully get the memory of women, what it's like to be feminine, because your body can't take the stress that our bodies were made to deal with. And you took on the stress, and now you're dying sooner. You have high blood pressure. You are the ones. 80% of women are on some kind of antidepressant. You want to know why? Because your body wasn't made to do what we do. You understand? And how could you have healthy babies when you're stressed out?
Yeah.
Want to know why? You're not supposed. We're supposed to take the stress. We're the ones to take the stress off of you, so you can help bring my children into a stress-free environment.
Yeah.
Your body is stressed, so the child comes out stressed, and you want to know why they're turning and don't even know their genders anymore?
Mm,
Because
mm,
the
mm.
mothers are completely stressed out when they even getting. It's ridiculous. You're supposed to be calm. That's what it's supposed to be. Your nervous system is not supposed to take what our nervous system does. Your lungs are smaller than ours, which means you can't keep up with us. You can't run faster. You're not stronger. You can't do what we do. And all the women you see lifting all the weights and listen, brother, if you are turned on by a woman and got more muscles than you better check your orientation.
You better get some of that testosterone booster.
No,
Um,
no, you got to watch to see whether or not they done popped over to the RuPaul team.
oh God.
That's right. And you remember who it is that's teaching you young ladies how to put on makeup. The makeup y'all got with the big eyelashes that supposed to cum catchers. You can't deal with the cum catchers are what it is that the RuPaul people were putting on with that big your eyebrows going up around your hairline and coming back down to the back of your face. You're looking like clowns. That's the way that these drag queens, they're the ones teaching you how to put on makeup today. You're out your mind. And these things I've seen eyelashes that enter from around the corner before the woman does. What the hell is that?
Oh man, that's funny. That was a good one.
You
I
know
got that visual, man.
you know why they were there. They were there to catch the cum because the prostitutes use that so that the cum don't get in their eyes.
Oh man. So we don't
Yeah,
want to get you too wound up
yeah.
because it's almost bedtime for
I'm
you.
I'm cantankerous old man sitting on the porch.
Yo, you on the porch. Yeah, you on the porch. That's it. Yep. You got the cigars on the porch. Yeah.
Remember Richard Pryor? You on Mr. Gilmore property.
Yeah. There it is. Family, I
Anyway,
want to thank everybody for being on the platform. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate all of you. Uh, keep hugging, keep loving. We're gonna get past this. This too shall pass. I want to thank you, Dr. Phil. I want to thank you, Ms. Bliss, for all those beautiful videos. Keep those videos coming because we're putting them together. And ladies, stay magically feminine, and brothers, flex your masculine nature and go barefoot so you can build up your electrical testosterone. Go ahead, flex,
Let
brother.
me push it up. Let me push it up so you can get. I love you guys. You all
I
take care.
enjoyed the show. I
All right.
enjoyed.
All
Love
right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you for
Night,
being with
y'all.
us.
That was